Got something cool for you guys today. Finally got my hands on another United Nations CRP, or Combat Ration Pack. This one is menu number A. It is a Western menu, or Occidental. I have wanted to do this review ever since I saw Combat Rations review of this, and that was in July of 2016. I did get my hands on one of the green packages of one of these, but I sent that off to my buddy Takashi in Japan because he really had his eyes on it, and I'm always willing to hook up a buddy. Now, if we look at this thing, you can see it does have a date code on here. It does say March of 2019 is the best before date, and if you look at here at the weights, I guess all the food content is supposed to be 1.4 kilograms, and it says that the gross weight is 1.7, but I actually stuck this on a scale, and it is 1,766 grams, or 3 pounds 14 ounces, which means that this is a heavy ration. It is actually significantly large ration too. It's a 24-hour ration, but just to give you a comparison for an MRE, let's bust this thing open, man. I cannot wait to check this out. Now again, we can cheat. It's got the contents list right here in English and French, but we're not going to do that. And you can see that this is packaged by a French company. It's actually a French governmental agency that does most of these rations. And again, I've got my good old handy dandy Juice S2. I was about to say cuts like butter until it stopped cutting. I can definitely smell fuel tablets. It does have that fishy smell. First thing out of the bag is some salty biscuits. You look on here, it says these are good until November of 2019. Again, that stove kit. This plastic does not keep in that smell. We have a drink pack or accessory pack. We'll take a look at that in a second. Some paper tissues. Here we've got, this is 300 grams. This is pasta with beef. Another 300 grams. This is vegetables with sausage. This one is chickpea stew. And this is 150 grams. Another accessory packet. Chocolate cake. A zip seal bag. I guess you could use this for your trash or waterproofing or whatever. Water rehydration. We'll take a look at this in a second. Looks like a general content sheet. Another accessory pack. Some sweet biscuits, probably for breakfast. Cutlery kit, looks like knife, fork, spoon with a napkin. And that is everything inside of the bag. Now let's take a look at these. Now inside the stove kit, you're going to get a foldable stove, some heating tablets, and I believe some matches. If we can get out of here without ripping up the bag. Your standard flat pack stove, Esbit fuel tabs, and you get 6 of those, some matches, and 4 water purification tablets. And that is everything in that bag. And then we have this one. This looks like it's got some snacks and some other stuff in here. This is some flavored toffees. I got like 5 or 6 in there. Crunchy muesli with fruit. You got air in there to make sure it doesn't get all crushed up. See plenty of life left on that. A dark chocolate bar. Chewing gum. Get a couple of briquettes. fruit jelly bar, fromage fondue or cheese spread, and some strawberry jam. Okay, this one looks like a seasoning spice kit, all that kind of stuff, sugar. I guess that is a packing inspector. Has some ketchup, Mexican sauce, bunch of packs of sugar, what looks like 8, some salt and pepper. And this one looks like beverages, of course, because I see tea right on the top. And now I know that chai tea means tea, tea, pretty much. Jeez, come on, open. Two bags of, jeez, it's like stuck together. 2 bags of tea, hot chocolate drink or cocoa drink, high fiber isotonic drink. Now this milky drink isn't necessarily milk. It's essentially just essentially creamer, non-dairy creamer. Orange beverage. You got some coffee, instant soup. There's Sherman. Another coffee, another milky drink, another one, another high fiber isotonic drink, and a hyper protein drink. Cool. The only other thing that was in the main bag that I didn't point out because it kind of fell off the table was this. You get 1 moist wipe. Then lastly, you get this instruction sheet. It tells you what is to be eaten at what time of the day for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It has instructions for how to prepare it, its use, all of that. And on the back, each item has the calorie and nutrition facts for every bit of it. Actually, very comprehensive, and this is an extremely nice touch to be putting into a ration pack. Okay, I got this stuff sectioned off into meals. I'm going to start heating this up, and to save time, I'm just going to do my montage version. Let's do this. Now these are what I would call consumables, that I wouldn't necessarily eat them with a meal, but throughout the day. Again, you've got your gum for like in between meals and after meals to help clean your teeth, satisfy your hunger while you are waiting between meals. Same thing with these toffees. These TP wipes, they seem to be pretty durable. However, I'm going to stick with my traditional baby wipes. In the isotonic beverages, I would also have these in between meals because this ration comes with a lot of drinks. And while you're mobile, this will be something that's easy just to throw into your cup, throw some water, get it in to keep your salts and your glucose levels to your optimal levels. Now I know this breakfast looks skimpy, but a lot of places in Europe have a really small breakfast because they eat rather late dinner. And their biggest meal of the day is usually lunch. But I digress. Let's get into our crunchy fruit. Usually you can see it's got all kinds of stuff in here. I will scroll it down here on the bottom, of course. And again, it's essentially just granola. And it does live up to its name. It is good and crunchy. But I would imagine that if you wanted it more like a porridge or something, just grab your canteen cup or something like that. Scoop a little in. You could add a little water to it, I suppose, if you wanted to. Rehydrate those fruit bits. And if you're really inclined, you could even add some of your milk powder and some sugar to it, which let's check that out. So I'll stick that right there. I'll put just a little bit of sugar in there and a little bit of our milky drink. We'll give that a nice little mix. We'll just let that set for a hot minute. And we'll take a look at one of our sweet biscuits or our sweet crackers. Very dense. It has that nice, good, crunchy flavor to it. And we're going to, well, I don't think crunch has a flavor, but we'll give that a go. If you're familiar with a graham cracker, it has that kind of taste to it. But of course, we can take some of our strawberry jelly jam. It's not really a jam, even though it does have a few of those seeds in there. And we'll try it with our sweet biscuits. Those go really well together. Well, let's take a look at this. It is a little soupy. I did add a little too much water, but you can see that milk has got in there right into that granola. And there is some cereal kind of like this here in the States. So that would work if you're out in the field. Just take this, take your bag, pour a little bit of water in there, a little bit of your milk and sugar, mix it all up, and yeah, that'd be quite pleasant. Try our hot chocolate. We'll take one of our biscuits and dip it in there because I know this is something that they love to do too. And this is not like a milk chocolate type cocoa drink. It is a little bitter. It's like a dark chocolate cocoa drink. But it tastes good nonetheless, especially when you dunk your biscuits in there. Softens them up, a little bit of that chocolatey flavor transfers to them. Quite tasty. Then lastly, we'll take a look at our poor little bloomed chocolate bar. I'm quite sure the inside is going to be pristine, just like I kind of imagined it would be. This would be a nice little energy boost for you in the morning. And I guess after we did that, we could polish it off with a cup of leaded coffee. Not too bad. And this was breakfast. Okay, now we are back with lunch. Again, we got this beef with pasta, which is kind of outstanding. It's like a chickpea stew, our chocolate cake, our salty, savory biscuits, again with some cheese. Let's bust into this. Now, I really didn't discuss this cutlery kit but it's very reminiscent of what you would get out of a Central or Eastern European ration. And again, we have like this standard, really flimsy spoon. So we will see how this poor thing holds up. Let's dig into this. Now, these containers did not have ingredients listed on them. I forgot. I've got this instruction sheet and it tells me exactly what's inside the main and the side, and I'll put the ingredients down there on the bottom. So it is going to be a little bit of guess. We'll determine or figure out what it is. But this does look like some solid beef with some great looking spiral pasta. Wow, that was really good. Actually very tasty too. You don't need anything to go with it. It's got a nice little savory, it's a little salty. This is incredibly tasty. Now I'm looking at this pouch. Of course it has a gusseted pouch, so you could stand it up or eat it right out of this package. It does have some preparation instructions, but again, like I said, there's no ingredients on here. And if you look on here, it says that this is prepared or made for Yomipsa, which is a Spanish company that produces a lot of rations. But it doesn't exactly say who the manufacturer is. I got a feeling it was probably from France or something like that, but who knows. And then we'll look at this chickpea stew. And you can see it's got little bits of carrot, looks like green bean. I don't know, maybe some pepper. And of course, those big solid bits of chickpeas. And these two have such a flavor contrast that's it's very appealing. It's not quite as salty as this, but man, they really do kind of go together. And in this packet, of course, oddly enough, it does not come with a gusseted pouch, so I guess this would be like your side item. And again, it has the prep instructions, which are the same as the main. But man, this stuff is pretty good. I usually let you know if I don't like something, but this stuff is tasty. I don't know if the dogs are going to get any. And just so I say that I can try it, I don't know if this is supposed to be hot sauce or what it's supposed to be, but I'm going to put just a little bit of this over on this side. And we'll see how this, oh, look at that, it's nice and thick. It's the way how it's supposed to be. And just so I can try it on its own, I'm going to clean the spoon off and put a little of this on there. Just so we can see it. It's nice and thick, good and hearty. I'll try to see what's inside of that. Maybe. I don't know. I'll take a look a little better. But man, it's nice and thick. Oh, that's got a little kick to it too. That's awesome. What is alcohol vinegar? I don't know what it is, but I'm going to have to find some. Ordinarily, I don't dive in here and do this, but man, I'm getting some more. Just a little bit there, Tex. Just a little bit. We'll give that a go. I have to say, so far for lunch, man, I'm digging this ration. Here's your chocolate cake. It's a little crumbly. This one is manufactured by Yomipsa. I'll tell you what, just so I don't get this all everywhere like I usually do, I'll just give that a little try. Big old hollow spot in there. We've been chipped. That's really good too. It's still nice and moist. And if you didn't use your strawberry jam, this could be a good place to put it on. Could really give this a good flavor profile, more definition. And I've got my orange drink. I'm assuming that we get a good zap of vitamin C from this. And that flavor really comes through. Again, if you don't like it as sharp, just add more water and it dilutes the oranginess. Then we have the salty biscuits. Again, we'll just try it on its own. Okay, I don't know why they call them salty biscuits, because they don't really taste like salt or anything like that. They are rather plain. But the best thing about it is you could bust these up and use it as a spoon, a device, and get all of the savory, yummy goodness off of something like that I keep spilling all over my workstation. Or we could just use our cheese as well. Put that down there. Make sure you give this stuff a good knead. Look at that big glob of cheese. Well, we'll give that a nice little, it's nice and creamy. It's not like your standard, usual MRE cheese that you would get in the government ration. This actually spreads pretty darn good. Wow, I'm kind of impressed. And looking at this, I'm looking to see who it is made by. And again, it says made in the USA for Yomipsa. So I'm assuming the people that create this for US MREs, it's the same exact cheese. Again, we still do have some spices. If you needed some salt and pepper to do whatever you needed to do, we could always do that. And after we ate this fantastic lunch, you grab your mug of tea, sit there, and use this as a digestive aid because you're going to need it after eating all this fabulous stuff. And don't forget, in between meals, we still have our isotonic drink. This is like a nice lemony kind of flavor. We'll try one of our gums. And of course, our toffee is caramelo flavor. Pretty tasty. Okay, now on to dinner. We have our chicken sausage and vegetables. It's more of a lovely stew. Soup, our crackers, our little jelly bar, I guess for dessert. Tea, and our protein drink. And I'll explain the rationality behind that shortly. Again, like we said, these cheap spoons, we've already have some breakage happening, so we just have to be a little careful. And these little chicken bits, it reminds me of the Wurstel that I got in my very first Italian ration that you guys are still giving me grief over like 5 years later. But there we go. Man, that stuff looks good. This is pretty tasty. Of course, I'll put everything, the ingredients down there, but of course we see some carrot, we see some corn. Looks like some pea. We have, doesn't look like a ton of chicken sausages. I ate one and I only see two more in there. That is kind of a bummer. But one thing this needs, it needs a little kick, which might have been a great opportunity to keep that Mexican sauce. That might have been spot on. But we still do have our salt and pepper, which I'm going to apply some pepper to this. And I'll just put a little on there because I don't want to blow it up. And we'll see how that goes. Little bitty pepper flakes on there. And that's exactly what that needed, just to take the little edge off, because this is quite salty. And then we have our soup. I don't know exactly what's in the soup. Again, I'll put it down there if I can decipher it. It's like vegetable, kind of. And if you were so inclined, like I usually am, You could take one of your salty biscuits, kind of crunch it up so it kind of act kind of like a crouton, sort of. And we'll just let that sit in there for just a second to absorb some of that soup. And same thing, we can use it with our chicken, sausage, and vegetables. And then again with our meal, we'll have some tea. I know last time we went ahead and saved it for a little later on, but this time we are going to have it with our meal. And if you wanted to, you could add your coffee creamer, a little bit of sugar. I'm just going to take it as is, which is just fine. Yeah, this is really quite nice. This has been one of the better rations I've had in quite a while. Now we'll try a little bit of our soup with our pseudo crouton. Spilling again. That's really good. Now the soup said add 250 milliliter of water. It is a little thick. If you added more, I'm quite sure that it would be just as good, and even better, it'd be thinned out a little bit. I'm kind of at a loss what to do with my ketchup. I guess I'm just going to tomato some of this up just to see, I don't know, what happens. Scooch a little over here. Now, this is quite thick too. Must have a lot of corn syrup or something in it. Here we go. I don't know, it looks pretty good. It is quite tangy, and it does give a nice flavor to this. I'm quite sure if you took that packet of ketchup while it was inside of the actual ration container and mixed it all in real good, it would spread over everything and coat everything evenly. It would be quite tasty, but that does add a nice flavor. And I guess the last thing is this jelly bar. I'll try to see if I can find out what flavor this might be. And right on this wrapper, it might be very hard to see, but it says 50% apple pulp. So obviously it's probably going to be apple flavored. I guess you can get the slightest hint of apple. It's more sugar, seeing how it is absolutely coated with sugar, but you can maybe take a little look on the inside. Well, now I'm talking about, there is an aftertaste of apple. That's quite pleasant, very chewy, definitely sticks to your teeth. I don't know, I'm a fan of this. This is pretty tasty. And the last thing I really have on here, I still have a coffee in case if I have radio watch where I have to stay up for 2 hours in the night, I might want to have some coffee. And after I did that tactical food pack, their logic with their protein drink to have it right when you're getting ready to go to bed to aid with recovery and building up your muscles back. I really like that logic. I subscribe to that. So that's definitely when I would have my protein drink, right before I went to bed. And this too called for 250 milliliter of water. Like most protein drinks, it does have a chocolatey kind of taste, but it is chalky. Chalky. As a recovery drink to help you repair, rebuild, and get ready for the next day, you can't go wrong. And now we're done. We're going to use our one and only moist towelette or moist wipe, if we can get it out of here. And it is moist indeed. Okay, everybody, this was a review of a United Nations Combat Ration Pack. Menu number A, Western. Thank you very much, Roger, for sending this to me, man. I super appreciate it. Finally got another one off my bucket list. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you all on my next review. Bye. Come here.
What is that?
Oh. Oh. We love MREs. More please.
Look right back to your face. That's it.